$1 million or a single dollar. Every penny of taxpayer money for Donald Trump's vanity project is a penny too many. Senate Democrats will continue to fight tooth and nail to ensure not a dime of taxpayer funds go to it. And as we fight this billion-dollar ballroom, we're not standing down on stopping the tens of billions of dollars more that Republicans want to pour into Trump's secret police force and violent ICE raids. In the birdbath and on the floor, we'll force Republicans again and again to show what they are fighting for. They are fighting not for hardworking Americans, they're fighting for their billionaire boss's palace. On the War Powers vote, later this afternoon, Democrats will force another choice on Republicans. For the 8th time, Democrats are going to force a vote on our War Powers resolution to withdraw troops from hostilities with Iran. Trump just said this morning, quote, "We may have to give them another hit," talking about Iran.
America First Voice is back with another hard-hitting reaction. Today we're reacting to Senate Democrats, led by Chuck Schumer, aggressively attacking President Trump over a $1.776 billion fund, calling it a slush fund for his friends and far-right allies. Let me tell you, patriots, this is peak Democrat hypocrisy and fear-mongering as President Trump works to deliver on his promises and fix the broken system. If you believe government should stop wasting trillions on failed programs, foreign aid, and special interests while attacking every America First initiative, smash that like button right now and subscribe. Let's dive in. Schumer and Senate Democrats hammer the administration, claiming the nearly $2 billion is being funneled to undeserving far-right characters and political allies. They do the usual outrage routine, pretending this is some unprecedented scandal while conveniently forgetting their own record of massive spending bills, pork, green energy boondoggles, and foreign aid that often benefits adversaries. Here's my unfiltered take as a right-wing patriot and constitutional conservative.
Okay, I want to thank Senators Klobuchar and Merkley for being here with me. So, political payouts, personal perks, and vanity projects, and now a get-out-of-jail-free card for Trump and all his family on tax matters. That's what the GOP under Trump's leadership stands for right now. We've learned that Trump's funneling nearly $2 billion in taxpayer dollars into a slush fund for his friends, his far-right loyalists, and January 6th insurrectionists. He made a deal with himself. First, unbelievably, he sues the government for $10 billion. Then he says, with his other hand, I am the government, I'll settle for $1.7 billion. And the money goes to all kinds of assorted characters who don't deserve it, probably Trump himself. Trump could care less that the Americans are struggling to put food on the table and pay higher prices at the pump. He cares only about enriching himself. And as I said, his corruption knows no end. His new slush fund contains a provision that there should be no prosecution or investigation of Trump or his family members on any tax matter, a get-out-of-jail-free card that he negotiated with himself. What kind of America is this? What kind of man is this? Where are the Republicans on this kind of stuff? Well, let me tell you, they sure as hell aren't standing up to the taxpayers, standing up for the taxpayers, or standing up to Donald Trump. While working families are getting crushed by the cost of rent and groceries and gas and health care, ballroom Republicans are working through the night to salvage their plan to force taxpayers to foot the bill for Trump's gilded palace. How out of touch can they be? Senate Democrats fought back. We derailed their first attempt to grant Trump his billion-dollar ballroom wish. Right now we're waiting to see ballroom Republicans' next move. But let me be clear. I don't care if the Republicans ask for $1 billion, $1 million, or a single dollar. Every penny of taxpayer money for Donald Trump's vanity project is a penny too many. Senate Democrats will continue to fight tooth and nail to ensure not a dime of taxpayer funds go to it. And as we fight this billion-dollar ballroom, we're not standing down on stopping the tens of billions of dollars more that Republicans want to pour into Trump's secret police force and violent ICE raids. In the birdbath and on the floor, we'll force Republicans again and again to show what they are fighting for. They are fighting not for hardworking Americans, they're fighting for their billionaire boss's palace. On the War Powers vote, later this afternoon, Democrats will force another choice on Republicans. For the 8th time, Democrats are going to force a vote on our War Powers resolution to withdraw troops from hostilities with Iran. Trump just said this morning, quote, "We may have to give them another hit," talking about Iran. Yesterday, he went from threatening to blow Iran into oblivion to a few hours later saying a peace deal was imminent. How can we stand this kind of liar as president? He just flips. Truth matters at nothing to him, at nothing. Is it Groundhog Day? That's what it seems like with Trump when it comes to Iran. Senate Republicans need to be honest with themselves. Trump is no closer to ending this war, and all the while Americans are struggling under skyrocketing costs and our troops remain in harm's way. Last week, we got one more Republican to join with us. Republicans, it's time to break the cycle, support our War Powers resolution. No president should be able to drag this country into war alone, and what seems to be on almost a whim. Senator Klobuchar.
Thank you. I'm going to start with, I know what is on everyone's mind, and that is that, yes, Minnesota was awarded the NFL draft for 2028. So they went purple, as did I. We're pretty excited about this after everything our state's been through in the last year. Other issues. Right now, families are getting stuck with skyrocketing costs. Electricity bills are through the roof. Housing is up. Prices are so high. For the first time in years, they've wiped out the wage growth Americans have earned. Gas in Minnesota tends to be a little under the national average, but right now it is over $4.40 a gallon. Diesel is up over $5.50. Farmers are already hit by tariffs, and now they've got the cost of fertilizer, with 50% of urea going through the Straits of Hormuz, 30% of ammonia. And anyone in the checkout line, you don't need all these numbers, could tell you what's happening. They know beef prices are up 14.8%, vegetables are up 11.5%, coffee is up 18.5%. And so while Trump wants to pay for his ballroom and throw that into a bill where he could be helping people with health care or paying for local police officers, we now find out they've also started a slush fund and, as Chuck noted, have decided that all of his companies, his family, their subsidiaries are immune from any tax examinations or prosecutions. So he is looking out to protect his corporate interests and his family, while Americans are left with a Memorial Day picnic that they can hardly afford. The American people are fed up. New York Times poll out yesterday found the administration's approval on the cost of living is at 28%. Literally, these polling organizations do not have the lines on their graphs to go that low. A majority of Americans oppose the additional funds for ICE and Border Patrol. Yeah, they want order at the border, but they are not in favor of creating an agency in ICE that is now bigger than the Marines or bigger than the FBI. But instead of focusing on bringing down costs or helping the American people, our colleagues, unfortunately, on the other side of the aisle, are talking about ballrooms and debating about that and more money for ICE. The $70 billion in that bill, the additional funds, what would that do? You could hire 200,000 local police officers, extend the health care premium tax credits for 2 years, just as we've learned that 1 out of 5 Americans have dropped their coverage under the Affordable Care Act. It would provide seniors with dental, hearing, and vision for a year, building 700,000 more homes. I think if you said to Americans, would you like to give $70 billion for ICE, or do you want to build 700,000 more homes? We know what they would say. Or we could say, do you want to put $70 billion more into ICE, or do you want to provide child care for 3.5 million American children? So that's the question. Those are the value judgments. Those are the cost judgments. And they're the ones that are not focused on bringing costs down for the American people. And with that, Jeff.
Gold-plated, billion-dollar ballroom boondoggle. Try saying that fast. Gold-plated, billion-dollar ballroom boondoggle. It's hard to say. It's even harder to swallow. A Louis XIV massive building that turns the White House into a little auxiliary dwelling unit. A ballroom, symbolic of an authoritarian in a strongman state, destroying the East Wing, the People's House. In reconciliation, we won a round. We pursued all the arguments under the bird bath, and the ballroom for the moment is out. But we understand our Republican friends are trying to do exactly what Trump wants and find new language to put in, so stay tuned. And then we're looking at this extraordinary impact on the American families in costs that my colleague from Minnesota has so well expressed. So much of those costs we're seeing being driven by the war in Iran. We're seeing the cost at the pump. We're seeing the cost of the fertilizer that can't get through. We're seeing the 3.8% inflation rate. These are factors from the war. Project Epic Fury has become Project Epic Failure. We will see where the next rounds of the bird bath go, but not one penny in this reconciliation bill goes to address the challenges that American families are facing on health care, on housing, on education, or invest in American infrastructure. Not one penny for families, but a massive amount of money for ICE and CBP. And realize none of it's needed. Why do I say that? Because they're already sitting on $103 billion of unobligated funds. The normal budget for those two agencies is about $20 billion a year. They're sitting on 5 years plus unobligated funds from last year's bill. What we saw last year in the big, ugly betrayal of a bill was billionaires win and families lose. Americans hate that bill, and what do we get this year? Billionaires win, families lose. How about instead, families thrive? And the affluent, they pay their fair share.
Thank you,
Leader Schumer.
Yes.
Can I ask you, do you feel that the Democrats' chances of winning in Texas got better today with the endorsement of Democrats?
Look, Texas is a huge mess for the Republicans, and I believe that we're in much better shape taking back Texas than we were a few days ago, and I think we're going to win Texas.
Leader Schumer, but you know how expensive Texas is. It costs hundreds of millions of dollars. Is the DSCC and SMP willing to spend as much as it takes to win in Texas?
Let me just say, Tallarico is talking to people about their real needs. Paxson and Cornyn, both of those people are talking about things that Texans don't care about. And so we are going to win Texas, and we are going to win Texas, whether it's Cornyn or Paxson. Yes? Look, we need a good housing bill. The best way, quickest way to get a housing bill done is for the House to pass the Senate bill, plain and simple. China. Or as Trump calls it, China.
Do you think are we in a more dangerous position with China in terms of potential for conflict with president vacillating on his on the U.S. position on arms sales to Taiwan?
I think that Trump's trip to China was a fiasco. The United States is in a worse position in many, many ways than we were before he left. He got a red carpet, he got a photo op, and then he got nothing that helps us and conceded many things that hurt us, including what he did on Taiwan.
Today, Leader Jeffries in the House called for massive Supreme Court reform if Democrats are in power. Would that be part of your agenda if you're majority leader, and what proposals?
I am so deeply disappointed in what the Supreme Court has done, and it certainly needs real reform. Thank you, everybody.
This Democrat outrage is completely fake and hypocritical. For years, under Biden and previous Democrat control, we watched trillions disappear into endless COVID relief that fueled inflation, Green New Deal fantasies that enriched China, foreign aid that funded enemies, and bureaucratic slush funds that accomplished nothing for the American people. Now they cry slush fund the moment President Trump directs money toward priorities that actually benefit Americans and advance America First policies. As a patriot, I support President Trump using every tool available to cut waste, redirect funds, and deliver results. Whether it's border security, military rebuilding, energy dominance, or draining the swamp, these are legitimate uses of executive authority and budgeting. Democrats only scream when the money isn't flowing to their special interests, NGOs, climate grifters, or open borders operations. The $1.776 billion figure they're hysterical about is a drop in the bucket compared to the wasteful spending they defended for years. Where was this outrage when trillions were printed and spent with little oversight? Where was it during the absurd foreign aid packages or the massive administrative state expansion? This is selective indignation designed to obstruct Trump's agenda and protect their failed status quo. Deeper opinion as a right-wing patriot. Government spending has been out of control for decades. The national debt is crushing future generations. President Trump's approach, prioritizing American workers, secure borders, strong military, and efficient government, is a breath of fresh air. Democrats' attacks reveal their true priorities: maintaining power through spending, protecting their donor class, and blocking any reform that threatens the D.C. swamp. We need dramatic spending cuts, elimination of wasteful programs, audits of every agency, and a return to fiscal responsibility. Redirecting funds away from failed leftist initiatives toward real national priorities is not a slush fund. It's responsible stewardship of taxpayer dollars. This hearing/floor speech shows the left strategy: obstruct, smear, and cry foul whenever conservatives try to govern. Patriots see through it. The American people voted for change, efficiency, and America First, not more of the same bloated government. Patriots stand with President Trump as he fights to reform government spending and put America first. Demand accountability for wasteful Democrat spending. Support leaders who cut bureaucracy and deliver results for working families, not special interests. If this fired you up like it did me, comment below. Is the $1.776 billion fund a slush fund or necessary reform? What's the biggest example of Democrat wasteful spending you've seen? Should we audit and cut massive government programs? Smash like if you support President Trump's America First agenda. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share with every patriot. We need secure borders, energy dominance, fiscal responsibility, and an unapologetic America First government. Stay vigilant. Stay informed. God bless President Trump. God bless our troops. And God bless the United States of America, the greatest nation on earth.